Why did you start collecting, or why did you start reselling, and what do you do with your collectibles? 3 questions I get asked quite a lot. So today we're going to have a look behind the scenes at some stuff I do in my spare time. Just going to have a little look at a couple of my collections, and then I'm going to show you how I combine 2 of my favourite pastimes with what I'm going to do today. I'm going to start with a couple of the units that are usually off camera during shows and things like that. So these are the only Funkos I'm currently collecting, are part of the Alice in Wonderland collection. Now I managed to complete the bottom set, which looks pretty cool, which is the original set. We've also got the Blacklight set, which I'm missing a couple from. I've got a few special ones like a Disneyland one, and then a few of you might know is the Super Hot Wheels and the Red Lines and the Legendary series up at the top there. So I've just started my Hot Wheels collection again, but I'll get a little bit more into that in a few minutes. I'll show you another one of the collections I currently have is my Tubbs Ducks collection. So me and Sarah have been collecting these for a while. It isn't a lock cabinet this, so I can't sell them, although the key is currently in it. So I'll have to tell Sarah that she's left the key in it. But yeah, we do love the Tubbs Ducks, so we've been collecting these for a while. We've got quite a few. There's a couple of Grinch wax melts that Sarah made there for Christmas, and then a few of her favourite ones are up at the top there. I also have a lot of miniatures, they're character option ones, things like that as well. I do have big video collections and DVD collections, and also a massive Eagle Moss Doctor Who collection. These are all ones that are currently out of the box, but I do sell the ones in the boxes as well. And there's other things, but what I'm going to show you today is my Hot Wheels collection. When I say my Hot Wheels collection, it's more of my Hot Wheels track collection. So if you know this, if you've been a member of the channel for a while, you know that this is the Rainbow Raceway. We are in the room of requirement, as you can see by the sign there, as this room does change very often. Now this is what I do with a lot of my collections. So one of the questions I asked in the opening sequence of the video was, what do you do with your collections? So I put a lot of my nostalgic pieces, things that mean a little bit to me, on the backdrop here, so you can see all sorts of different things. I'll show you a few of them in a bit. What we're going to do today as well is we're going to alter this bit here. So as you can see, we do duck races. Now currently this terrain was made as part of a Dungeons and Dragons set. You can see the making of this or part of it in one of the earlier shorts on the channel, but I want to alter this bit of terrain. I want to make a duck pond in the back there, so that might sound a little bit mad to you, but it is a part of the duck races. Now I can take this bottom bit of the Hot Wheels track section off there and extend it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and carve this bit out and make some sort of duck pond to look a little like this. So this has been made for Matty's mountain. Now if you saw the previous video I did to this, I was building a big terrain for Matty's mountain, part of Matty MTB's new Hot Wheels track, and we will be bringing Hot Wheels races to the YouTube channel very shortly, so make sure you stay tuned for that. This is a simple duck pond, as we are well known for our ducks. So little ducks are going to sit in this on Matty's mountain. I do have a few of the ducks here to show you now, so they will sit on it however Matty likes and pleases. He's got loads of them. We give them away in giveaways a lot of the time, so this is going to form part of the duck pond. We will be doing an extension of a stream as it comes off the mountain and things like that, but that's not really what I want to get into today. Said in the start of the video, I'm going to combine 2 of the things I love. So one of them is crafting and making terrain. I absolutely love it. It was what I initially started the YouTube channel up to be about, was crafting and things like that, for part of me Dungeons and Dragons. But I also love Hot Wheels, which is also something else you can see a lot of on the channel. So check out the previous videos if you are interested in that. A lot of it's as part of the shorts. But I'm going to currently move all of this off, and this is the section I'm going to work on. So it's this back bit here I want to make into a pond. So that's it all cleared down, and this section does come out as well, because we don't need that part of it. We can extend it with some Hot Wheels strips if we wanted to. What I want to do is I want to basically carve this out, so they're going to come into a giant duck pond is the aim of it, but it has got stones and stuff in there from when I did do it originally, but you can see it's been worn over time. It's a few years old, this, so whether carving that out might be easier, or I might get something to put in that section. I do have some nice foam pieces. These ones you can carve and dent in, make it terrain. I could cut a section of that and put it in. It make me a bit more tricky. I could try and find a thinner piece. Just have to remove this without knocking everything off. Easier said than done. There we go. Oh, results! That was a risk. I wondered where they gone. So I'm remembering back from when I made this out of sheets. These are some little offcuts that I put in as raised sections. So I'm hoping, I don't think they'll pull off, but I'm hoping with the aid of a little knife. I've got a sharp knife, but do be very careful if you're doing this. I'm not supposing anyone else will be doing this though, so. But yeah, I'm going to try and get all these bits off. If you want to listen to the ASMR cutting sounds, I'll just shut up while I do this. Now it is all carved down to roughly the right level. I do need to sort this middle bit out though, because this is the bit with the stones in. So unfortunately that is glued to the bottom base bit, so I'm going to have to try and shave it, because I don't want my Hot Wheels cars going over this. So I do need to take this stone off here, otherwise it's going to pop through, because I'm only doing a thin layer of plaster. So I'm going to get on with doing that. So that should make it a little bit easier to apply the base on there. We're going to just put some plaster on it to make it smooth now. So while that's drying, as I said in the start of the video, I'm going to show you what I do with some of my collections or my collectibles, little things that mean stuff to me. Probably won't mean as much to anyone else, but I'll show you some of the items that are around this track currently. So I'm going to start at the top with obviously the signs that say room of requirement and man cave open 24/7. The man cave sign was bought for me by Alice, and the room of requirement obviously comes from a Harry Potter, but this is known as the room of requirement because it does change all the time. So as I move down then, I've got an old vintage Star Wars gun, and I am into space and stuff like that as well, and I think any toy hobbyist should have a spaceship in their collection. I have a few scattered around the track. I've got the big one there, which is my favourite. There's a little one, the rest on a dinosaur for a random reason. There is a dinosaur coming up through the back there, grabbing it. I think it's a TIE fighter, but something from Star Wars as well. And obviously Hawkman on the lookout, overlooking that. You've got Spider-Man hanging on the side. That one there is from Fantastic Beasts. It's one of the little creatures in it. And then obviously we've got Alice from Alice in Wonderland. Now it is a black light one that looks fantastic under the black light. And then the trophy, obviously, that can be awarded. All of the stickers have been supplied by Matty MTB, I think. He sends them as part of giveaways, and they've ended up round the track. Now on this little stand, that is a new addition to it. You can see Mini Miku at the top there. Now there was a short video I did in the early days on the channel that reached over 750,000 views, and it was me unboxing this, so it does mean a lot to me, this little figure, and it does obviously sit pride of place there. Above Pikachu, who also means a lot to me and Alice, as we did really follow Pokemon. The Grogu at the back is one of the original ones when it came out. He is fantastic, that Grogu. You might have seen him moving, but he does make sounds and everything, blinks at you and stuff. But that is Alice's, one of her collection. He observes, he's been in it with us since the early days. We've obviously got Mario there coming out of his warp pipe. That is a pop-up pirate that we managed to get, and I thought it was cool, so we put that on the track, as it is the Rainbow Raceway from Mario Kart. The little glow-in-the-dark figure there is from Scooby-Doo. That is a Kinder Surprise. There's a few of these little figures dotted about. They do look good under the black light, but no, there's one there. There's one over at the back there as well. But we'll get onto that in a second. Dinosaurs make a big appearance around the track. You've obviously got Fred Flintstone being lifted up by a T-Rex there to watch the racing. There is another one of our black light soda pops down at the bottom there, and a big dragon, which has got Evel Knievel driving up the back, as well as Tails whizzing around the side of the wing there. We've also got Scar. That is a Funko Pop. It is a flocked one. The box I got that in was in damaged condition, but I do love Scar from The Lion King, so that made an appearance on the track. Obviously, we're huge Doctor Who fans, so you got the Doctor Who sign at the back there. The little one is a Q-Fig there. It's from Big Trouble in Little China, which really reminds me of my dad, who unfortunately did pass away early this year. So I do have a lot of memorabilia, things that remind me of days with him. We've got Stitch there. Stitch is one of Alice's. That was sent in by another Whatnot streamer, Sexy Minion. There's a little gift for her, and he's been with us a long time. We've also got the big Miku, who's the big version of the baby one. So if you know who Hatsune Miku is, part of Sega Project. Unfortunately, due to the ears, she is in a Playboy Bunny outfit. But she had some bunny ears and they have disappeared. On the subject of Playboy Bunny, we've got a Playboy with Pamela Anderson from my early days. It's a metal sign, that one, but reminds me of when I was growing up. We've got a little Venom there, as we do love Venom. You'll see Cheshire Cats making an appearance all around the track in different places. There's also a little Venom Funko Pop falling over at the back there. And one of the Spectre, which is one of the Teddy Bears from when we did the Halloween show, one we kept. There's David Tennant, always makes an appearance. Another one of the Lion King figures there. Aliens, I do love Aliens, RoboCop, all 80s films, things like that. So we've got the Ripley Q-Fig there, fighting the alien, coming out of the back. There is Gwen, the Spider-Gwen as well, as we do make like Spider-Man. So obviously we've got Spider-Man there and Spider-Gwen down the bottom. There's a lot of things around this track, things I forget about. Obviously one of my early action men, Thor is also my guy. I do like Thor. There's a magic lamp from Genie and the magic lamp from Aladdin. There's obviously the meerkat, as I obviously do get Alan so often, it's unreal. Beano was one of my early loves, and the Beano and Dandy got me into comic books. Mad Hatter obviously observes proceedings on the event. He is sort of the guy who says everything on the track. Then also we've got the big massive Kong. Now you will not believe how many people have asked to buy this Kong. I may let him go one day because he does interfere with the view of the track, but I do love him, and again he's got one of the rocket ships. So then we come down to the bit I'm working on, obviously, is where these wristboards are. And then we've obviously got the Pizza Planet, which is a big nostalgic piece from Toy Story. He's also lifting up. We managed to get that little figure, which doesn't come with the set. And then I found a Woody, but no hat, unfortunately. You might have to go on an adventure to get the hat. So then we come around the back, and you can see that the pole position leaders, our first, second and third place, lie on this stand here, surrounded by stormtroopers, which are from the Attack Its Figures collection. They all fire bullets and things like that. They're pretty cool. There's a scary ghost witch kind of thing there. I wouldn't even know what to call it really, but I thought it was pretty cool, so I kept that in there as well. And then also Rex, if you can see Rex the dinosaur from Toy Story there as well. Again, a nostalgic piece. We've got Thor looking over proceedings as well. Thor is one of my favourite characters from the movies. There's a big Reaper, which comes from Doctor Who, holding up the signs and things. We usually have a little starter guy standing up there, but I think he's fell off. He's probably fell down the big hole. So I do need to sort this area out. That's another bit of terrain that I made again for Dungeons and Dragons. There's a little Lego characters there, which Aldous got gifted by someone else. We've always got Chickaletta under the sign. I do need to replace the sign with a printed one rather than the one I've custom made. And then obviously the little garage leading onto the floor down there. As you can see, that wooden boat is a pretty cool item. It doubles as the podium stand, so the little Mad Hatter can look over proceedings. And then obviously we can put all things on the back. So dragons are being brought in at the minute. There's a little Hatsune Miku with a cup of tea there as well. Looks quite good when we do it from this way and set all of the mat up in the garage and things like that. But as you can see, it's a bit chaotic at the minute with the replacement. We'll see what it looks like at the end. I'm going to go and check if that's dry yet. Bit of ASMR shaking for you there. But yeah, I'm using this primer XPS foam so it doesn't melt the styrofoam around the edges. Basically I've been blocking it off with this, and I'm just going to cover it with a quick primer at the minute. As you can see, it's still got a few cracks in now. I could smooth that out and make it all completely flat, but I do want to give it a water effect, so I think these little cracks and divots will work in my benefit towards the end. It is smooth enough though for cars not to get damaged on it, unless they hit one of these rocks on the way past, that is. But I'm in no way an expert in crafting. I am just doing this for my own amusement. It is one of the things, as I discussed in the beginning of the video, this is how I spend my pastime. This is my happy place, my creative side. But I'm going to get out of this cellar because I have been spraying in here, so I've only been in there for a few minutes, so I don't want to go outside because it's absolutely freezing. So it's the primer dry now. And during this project, I was trying to reuse things that I've already got in the house, so things I've already got in my craft supplies, paints and things like that. Obviously I'm repurposing this piece of landscape that I've already made. I've had this for a few years, we've already touched on, but I'm just trying to alter it. and not buy anything. So I've gone with the paints that I've got. So basically now what I want to do is I want to make a blue colour, obviously, for the pond. So these are the couple of the blues that I've currently got. There's a darker one and one that's slightly more vibrant. I've got a big tray here. It's from a Bitty Pop set, this I think, and some water and a brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and base this. Now I'm going to spread the colour around. So basically I am going to wet it as well because I want it to be a bit thinner. But with the first bit I'm just basically going to do a few dark splodges. Which when I do the full thing, you'll see it'll come in one together, and it should all blend in, but it'll make some darker pools. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a little base coat with some different colours. But as you can see, just putting a little bit of water on the brush to just thin it down. But I'm no expert painter by any means, so do check out. There's a lot of other people that do expert paint jobs. But as I say, I'm trying to repurpose one, give you a bit of an insight into what I do, or maybe at any downtime, as they say. So now that base coat is dry, I'm going to use some more paints that I've got around the house. Now, I do paint miniatures and stuff as part of my Dungeons and Dragons, but I've got basically a Highland Law Blue, which this is great speed paint, this by Army Painter. Obviously not sponsored by them, although I wish I was. But Army Painter do great paint supplies, and it creates different tones. So I've got three similar colours, or colours that'll contrast quite well. So there's a darker blue, a magic blue it's called, and a plasmatic bolt, which is going to create like a green. We can already see sort of the tones. Hopefully the camera's picking that up, the lighter shades and the darker shades. I'm just going to literally drop a few drops of this around and then spread it about. I'm going to repeat the same with the other two colours that I've got. So that was the green going on there, and then this one is the Highland Blue, and it should hopefully just create some sort of tone. But I'm trying to do it so that I can see where it is. So I obviously want it a little bit darker around this rock that I've created here. And if you can see the orange there, there is a duck diving down into the water there. So the last one going on now, just in random little spots. Just spreading it about a bit, obviously trying to get it to blend a little bit, but as it dries it'll create that colour contrast in there. But I've said a few times in this video, I'm by no way an expert, so people are shouting at the screen now that I'm doing things wrong. This is how I've decided to do it. I know a few people in the community were asking how I made the duck pond, so I thought I'd show you this one in the larger one. But as you can see, I'm just spreading a bit of that colour about. You'll see it once it dries, the effect that it has, and I may put a final really thin, clean film over it, and then some glue on it, and I'll obviously touch up all of the sides and stuff as well, where I've put the new bit of plaster on. So there we go. So spread it a little bit. Now I'm just going to make it sort of blend as best I can, because I don't want it to look like big pools, but it should give some depth. But I'll let you see how it looks when it's all complete. So I'm just going to go around the edges with a quick wash. You see I've started this one there. And the reason I did a lighter tone and then a slightly darker one, if you've just seen in the fast motion, is just to give it this bit of texture. So now I'm just filling in any little gaps. The way I'm doing it is I'm using another one of the speed paints, this black, grim black, to make it dark. So I'll put a little bit of that in, with a little touch of water in there as well. And I also added a little bit of this one, which is called Crusader's Skin. So I'm just going to put a little touch of them, make it basically making a wash. You know what a wash is. So it's just a thinner coat just to get in, because it is polystyrene. It is hard to get in all the little cracks. Hence why I did do the plaster on it initially. But it'll just make a little dark colour, if you can see that. But as it's really watery and thin, I'll show you it on there, but I can just do it. And as it sets, it'll creep into all the crevices, and it should make it a little bit darker and create a little bit of shade. You can see that I've left some of the rocks in place there. Now what I think I'm going to do is go over them with a little white dry brush to try and make them stand out a bit more. It doesn't look like the water's going through them, so if we can make them come out at the top of the water, it'll give it a bit more depth. I am happy with how it's turned out though. I could obviously put some movement in it by putting some white spray in, which I may do around the rock areas, but as you can see, the plaster's made its own sort of ripple. I'm kind of glad that I didn't smooth it off completely in the end. The duck is still sunk underneath there, so I'm going to touch that up a little bit and clean him off, so it looks like he's diving into the water. But yeah, I think I've got to touch this up with a bit of white now, and then we're going to spray it with a clear protective glue type spray, which should give it a nice glossy finish. My weapon of choice comes in the form of this, so it seals, protects and enhances the item, so it should make a little glow. It should make it like glossy, give you the ASMR shaking. And then I'm basically just going to seal it all in now, leave it to dry, and then we'll put it back on the truck. That is the duck pond complete. It's a bit more of a stream it's turned into, but I do like it. I moved Kong to the back so it's not blocking the view from this side, so we can get all the tracking. When I do start these races, which are up and coming in the near future, we're going to be doing some Hot Wheels races on the channel, so make sure you subscribe, hit the like if you've enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.